Is USC's football recruiting the F word?
You are Locked On Trojans, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Culkin, and thank you for making Locked On USC your first listen every day. Whether you're watching me on YouTube or wherever you like to download your podcast, we are free. I cannot express to you how much I appreciate your support. Show your appreciation. It means a whole lot to the show. If you're watching on YouTube, become a subscriber and definitely hit that thumbs up. And because we come at you 5 times a week, hit the bell notification, and that way you will not miss an episode. So, the F word. No, not that one. This is a family show. Around here, talked about it before. The F word on the streets, on the recruiting streets, means fluid. So what's happening one day literally can change in the course of a Thanos snap. That's how fast things change in the recruiting world. That's why we use the word fluid. Literally, you can feel good one day and then the very next day, I'm here and I'm wearing an L. Literally. I've been talking about it a lot lately. And I've been trying my very best to keep everything as balanced as possible, not to come off too cardinal and gold rose glasses, coming off as a homer too much. So despite, USC's recruiting momentum, there's going to be times where USC is going to end up taking a recruiting loss, so to speak. For instance, wide receiver Dre'lon Miller had USC staff feeling like, they were literally 3 days ago anticipating getting one of the best wide receivers out of the state of Texas. And if you haven't heard by now, Dre'lon Miller chose Texas A&M. And this will likely end up being a double whammy because his good buddy, linebacker, Anthony Smith, he's anticipated to choose A&M as well now. He's making his commitment on June 30th, depending on when you're watching this episode of Locked on USC, because you should be making it your first listen and first watch every day. Dre'lon made his decision on June 29th, Thursday. So, if you've been paying attention to any of the Locked on USC episodes this week, I have made mention of the fact that Anthony and Dre'lon Smith have said they're going to be playing together in college. Apparently so, just not at USC. So I wish Dre'lon well. There are no hard feelings. There shouldn't be. We're talking about we're talking about high school young men, recruits, kids, for some of you, that are making a choice for their the next chapter in their life. So there's no hard feelings. We want everyone to be successful in whatever choice they make. But I'm not sure what Dre'lon was basing his decision on. Obviously, maybe staying closer to home was a higher priority for him than maybe we're aware of. And maybe Dre'lon will, end up being the guy to change his new head coach, Jimbo Fisher's wide receiver development. It hasn't been too good. In fact, I'm going to go over some facts for you right now when it comes to the wide receiver position and developing for the NFL. In the 13 NFL drafts since Jimbo Fisher started at Florida State and obviously made his way over to College Station, Texas A&M, his offenses have produced two draft picks at the wide receiver position. And none since he's been at Texas A&M. Now, let's contrast and compare that to what Lincoln Riley's done. In the 8 NFL drafts since Lincoln Riley started at Oklahoma, his offenses have produced 6 draft picks at the wide receiver position, We can include one at USC, Jordan Addison. I know that's a little gratuitous, but hey, you take them where you can get them, right? Now, granted, Jordan Addison, he was going to go to the NFL even if he ended up transferring to Texas A&M and playing for Jimbo Fisher. I don't even think Jimbo could have retarded Addison's progression, but Jordan knew better. Now, of Riley's 6 NFL draft picks, 3 of them have gone in the first round. 2 others went in the second and fourth rounds. So, in case anybody wants to belabor this debate and come to the defense of Texas A&M, don't. You have no leg to stand on. You would be like the Black Knight in Monty Python. Forget Lincoln Riley. Let's take him out of the equation. USC was having 0 issues getting and developing wide receivers for the NFL. Let me just add a quick side note to this. Drake London, he was just seen on USC's campus, and he got to watch his legacy get cemented, literally, figuratively, and literally, cemented forever into USC's All-American Wall of Fame. It's out there on social media. Go check it out. USC Athletics, they tweeted it out. Drake London admiring his new plaque on the All-American Walk of Fame. And what's really special about that is when he was coming up through USC, he would look at those names along the wall before, he made it out to the practice field every day. And that was one of his goals, that one day he would see his name up there. Now he's up there. And that next batch of wide receivers like Mekhi Lemon and Zachariah Branch and Deuce Robinson et al., they get to look at Drake London as the newest member of that All-American Walk of Fame. And they get to say to themselves, that's going to be me soon. I'm going to go do what Drake London did. Dre'lon chose a different path. And we really hope it works out for him. Maybe if Drake London's plaque was up there earlier, it makes a difference. I'm being sarcastic, of course. But it does make you wonder what could have changed in the last, we'll just say last handful of days, last week. Yeah, if Riley wants another wide receiver in this class, and it appears he does, don't forget, Trojan recruiting fans. 5-star super elite Mike Matthews, he's still out there waiting to make his school choice. Maybe it's a little bit easier now. And Braylon Connolly is, so we were looking, going into the weekend, to the holiday weekend of USC, just going out with a bang, getting everybody. So we are anticipating Braylon Connolly making an announcement for USC. Ironically, that was the one I felt least confident about going into the weekend. But again, that just shows you how fluid recruiting is. And then still, Anthony Smith is out there, although it feels like he's going to be joining his good friend, Dre'lon Miller, and playing at Texas A&M. So I have no idea where USC will be ranked by Monday's episode of Locked on USC. Heading into this morning, USC had the number 4 class, but then Alabama got their 9th commitment, their 9th, and they moved back ahead of USC into 4th place. USC dropped down to number 5. USC has 15 commitments. That just shows you the strength of Alabama's, the quality of each of Alabama's commitments. They only have 9. So right now, as I speak to you on Friday, USC is sitting at number 5. The difference, and I'm using the On3 Network's cumulative scoring system for anybody who isn't aware of where I'm pulling these rankings out. The difference between the number 4, 5, and 6 class is minuscule. And I mean, it's nothing. So whichever program between Alabama, USC, and Clemson, who, by the way, sits at number 6, gets the next commit, they're going to kind of readjust the they're going to readjust the rankings. So, although Florida is still within striking distance at number 3 for everybody, just always remember, USC's recruiting is the F word, and that stands for fluid because things change. What doesn't change is America's #1 sports book. And FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. You can take your first swing at betting Major League Baseball on FanDuel, and you can get 10 times your first bet. Yeah, 10 times the amount in bonus bets, up to $200. That's right. So if you bet $20 bucks and you land $200 in bonus bets back, win or lose. It's that simple. That's $200 you can spend betting everything from the money line to the over-under to who you think is going to hit the first home run. All on an application that's safe, secure, and it's super, super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on Major League Baseball than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So sign up today and visit FanDuel.com/lockedon, and that way you can get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Hey, everydayers, make sure you check out Monday's episode of Locked On USC. It's going to be a weekend roundup of recruiting. And for those of you who watched and listened to yesterday's show, if you didn't, you can always go back and watch. You still have the chance. But on the last episode of Locked On USC, I broke down the current 15-member class. So what we're going to do in this segment, as you can see on today's rundown, we're going to make some position group predictions. Kind of project which position groups will end up being the best when everything is all said and done. So I broke down the current 15-member class, and here's the specific breakdown. You have 4 defensive backs, 2 edge/linebackers, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 4 offensive linemen, and 1 running back. So when you break it down, that's 9 players on offense, 6 on defense. I mentioned the name Dre'lon Miller. He's trending for USC. So if he chooses the Trojans, that's 5 defensive backs. Don't forget, Xavier Brown, cornerback from Mater Dei, is still out there. It's between USC and Alabama. So if Xavier decides to join and Dre'lon Miller decides to join, that would make it 6 total, and that includes Marcellus Williams, Dakota Fields, Marquise Gallegos, and Jarvis Boatwright Jr. With or without either one of Dre'lon or Xavier, 4 is a solid haul for a defensive back group because those are all highly sought after guys. However, based on the numbers right now, and you can take into account the potential additions at linebacker and defensive line, which groups project out to be the best? Again, let me go over the 15 names. I went over the defensive backs, so I'm going to skip by those guys. Ryan Pelham's at wide receiver. Xavier Jordan's at wide receiver. Joey Olsen, Walter Matthews are your 2 tight ends. Manesi Atidi, Jason Zandamela, Makai Sena, and Hayden Trader are your offensive linemen. And then you have Cameron Fountain and Elijah Newby at the rush end offensive outside linebacker position. The offensive line has room for 1 more. But let's just keep this in mind. Anytime you bring in 4 offensive line guys, and again, one's as highly regarded as Jason Zandamela and Manesi and Hayden and Mackay. 4 that's a win. You know, if they can get that 5th guy, I think you have to make the offensive line one of the groups. Cameron Fountain, Eli Newby. Now, here's where we're going to project. Let's add Kingston Viliamu Asa. For me, immediately, that group goes to the top. That's how much of an impact Kingston can make. And I think really highly of Cameron and Eli. 2 extremely athletic, big guys. But linebacker, I'm combining those positions. Yeah. Here's another name. I've mentioned it once, a couple times actually. What if USC can get David Palipali? He's the 300-pound defensive lineman from Pennsylvania. He is making his announcement on July 1st. Saturday. That's why you're going to need to tune in to Locked on USC on Monday. I'm going to have a recruiting roundup. Going to have a whole weekend roundup for you. But if USC, because right now, if you look at that breakdown, you didn't hear me mention a defensive lineman's name, did you? No, you didn't. USC really wants David Palipali, and USC really wants Edric Houston, one of the top guys in the country out of Buford, Georgia. You also want Aiden Breland, the top guy from Mater Dei. I don't care. Give me 2 out of those 3. That's my top group. Give me all 3. And it's the offensive line and it's the defensive line. As great as that defensive back group is, as great as highly as I think of the linebacker rush end and the wide receivers, yeah, I'm sorry. You can even add Mike Matthews to that wide receiver group. USC really, really needed to show the country, show the recruits, especially on defense, we can go get the best guys to come to USC. If USC can land David and Edric and Aiden, give me the defensive line, give me the offensive line, because we know you want to build your team, the foundation, in the trenches, from the inside out, because it makes everybody else's job that much easier. I mean, think about it. When you've got a dominant defensive line that can pressure the quarterback without having to blitz and bring extra guys, that makes everybody's, as I mentioned, it makes everybody's jobs easier. It's going to make those defensive backs' jobs a lot easier. They don't have to cover as long. And look, since all of this is really subjective and opinionated, give me yours. You know where to find me. Give me your comments on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter. You're also going to have an opportunity to ask me questions and tell me how you feel in person. That's going to come up in the next segment. I'm going to talk about a little tease there. For me, I just like all the attention, not all, but a good amount is being shown to the defensive side of the ball. I've got zero concerns about Lincoln Riley offense. That's natural for him. I'm enjoying watching Lincoln Riley develop as a head coach and learn from what happened in the past and really focus on the defense in this class, as well as in the 2023 transfer portal. This is why the recruits are kind of whispering and talking under their breath that USC not only make the playoffs this year, a few of them are talking about USC has a chance to contend for the national championship this year. This is normally time of the show, end of the week. It's Friday when I like to rant and get stuff off my chest. It's called the Friday Rant. Well, today I'm not going to do that. Today I'm going to use this time to kind of brag and promote instead. On July 11th, by the way, that's a Tuesday. Mark your calendars, everybody. As I said in the previous segment, you're going to get the chance to hang out with me. And you can meet me at the Trojans Tuesday Club. Location. All right, so here's what it is. It's going to be, it's essentially, it's a meet and greet for Trojan fans who are in the South Bay area of Los Angeles. But you can come from wherever, it doesn't matter. The location is called Cabrillo Landing, and it is located at the harbor next to the Cabrillo Yacht Club. Yeah, we know USC likes to show their recruits the yacht, so let's go hang out in the marina, right? It has a big courtyard with a beautiful view, huge, great view of the boats. So I think this is going to be a great way for me to meet other Trojan fans. And again, just a nice casual environment, give you a chance to kind of mingle, talk about something that we all have in common, network. And again, I'm going to be around, do a Q&A. This is why I would love for you, for everyone to kind of give me some suggestions. What questions would you like me to answer? I have no problem speaking in front of people. In fact, I feel very comfortable doing it. But I'm not going to go in there with a prepared speech, anything like that. So you got some questions, fire them at me. I'll do my best to answer what I can. Some stuff, I obviously can't talk about. So just send them in. Hit me up on YouTube on the Locked on USC channel. And again, we've got plenty of time. July 11th. For more information, you can join the Tuesday Trojan Facebook group. That's Trojan Tuesdays. I'm a part of it. And there'll be appetizers, beverages. All that's going to be provided. And it's all free if you're a member of the Facebook club. So guys, tickets are limited. So RSVP before they're gone, and I will see you there really soon. Again, that's Tuesday, July 11th. I want to rant about something, but there's really nothing to rant about. We're going into the July 4th Independence holiday weekend. Again, let's feel good about ourselves. USC recruiting is on a high. The football program is trending in the right direction. So we all like to talk about kabooms. Maybe we'll have one or two before the next time we talk. Go out there, enjoy the fireworks. Enjoy your summer. Enjoy USC football recruiting, because before you know it, this summer cycle, we're heading to the dead period. It's going to slow down a little bit. But, I'm going to contradict myself a little bit here. Fall camp is right around the corner. Literally, less than 30 days. That means good times are ahead. All right, everyone. I'll be back with another episode on Monday. That's what we do. Because this is your place every day, Monday through Friday, so you can get all your Trojan news and information. And again, it's easy to become a subscriber here. It's free. And when you're done becoming a subscriber here and hitting that thumbs up, because both mean a whole heck of a lot to the show, head on over to wearec.com. Become a subscriber. A lot of good written content for you over there from myself, from Eric McKinney, from Scott Schrader, from Marshall Levinson, from Greg Katz. If you like Chris Arledge's musings, get on over there. You're missing out. All right, everybody. Enjoy your holiday weekend. I will be back again on Monday. So until then, everyone, you know what to do.